Hey guys, hello and welcome and good morning, and hello and welcome and good morning. It's Un Poco Mas. I have a warning, a disclaimer. Today I'm not going to give you any more. I'm going to give you a little bit less. Progressively getting a little bit more sick, more exhausted, more dehydrated, more reliant on caffeine. It's just an unfortunate downward spiral of a fat, middle-aged, stock picking turd. Anyway, enough about me, guys. Let's not go there. This isn't a dating site after all. This isn't JDate or 23andMe. 23andMe, I think, is a DNA, not a dating site. Anyway, guys, I haven't dated nor done a DNA test in many, many years. Why would you when you have the greatest woman in the entire world, of course, the great Princess Che. Anyway, guys, we want to talk SoFi stock, but this isn't really going to be, shocker. This is going to be more of a rant. This isn't going to be really about SoFi stock. It applies to SoFi stock, but it's not really the point. Stock's down a penny pre-market, been hovering right around 1050. Okay, so what I want to talk about is this idea that something is just a bank. Like, people keep talking right now about AI and all these types of new technologies that are going to drive the next wave of innovation, drive the markets higher, keep America in the lead in efficiency, technology, all of these things. Of course, other countries. Massive valuation because they make chips that, have to do with AI. That is, part of it. But NVIDIA gets a massive valuation because they're growing extremely rapidly and they have huge margins. That's it. Okay? Everything else is nonsense. All that matters is growth and margins. That's what determines your future free cash flows. That's what a business is valued on. Period. It does not matter what sector you're in. This is all a fugazi. Okay, the bears are out in force. The analysts are out reiterating, three of them. JP Morgan hold, little Yoda looking dude, Solanic, and I can't remember. BTIG, I think. Remember when that weird guy with the soul patch, Lance Jesserun, came out and rated SoFi a buy at 16, and then the guy who just left that company, the five-head bologna sandwich, came out with like a sell at 3 like 2 weeks later. It was so weird, such a weird coincidence, but the world works funny ways. Anyway, guys, this sector thing is a complete fugazi. They want you to believe that SoFi's great margins, their EPS growth, this explosive EPS growth curve they're about to embark upon, is somehow worth less because they're just a bank. It's nonsense. I don't even know how to address it, like philosophically, logically, because you can't. I mean, it's so stupid. Why do you think Warren Buffett, buys certain companies? You were like, well, he buys Apple. That's a tech company. He only believes in AI. Nonsense. He buys Bank of America. He buys Occidental Petroleum. He buys railroads. He buys he just looks at the books and he says, this company is going to make a lot of money and it's undervalued. That's all he cares about. And his investing stands the test of time. This thing is SoFi a technology company? Because, the thing is, okay, Galileo didn't grow fast enough. And I would argue that fintech, the growth of fintech, the growth of SoFi itself is sort of eating SoFi because, mega banks, other banks, credit unions are losing market share to fintech. And I think that's kind of slowing Galileo down. And I think they're also developing rapidly internally for SoFi to try to keep pace with all of this innovation. Tanner made a good video on the fee-based income and how that can impact like SoFi's bottom line, their roadmap. So I definitely encourage you to check out Tanner's video on that. I think it came out yesterday. I'll make the point another way, guys. It's easy to illustrate. SoFi is just a bank. it's not worth anything because it's not AI, it's not chips, it's not this, it's not that. What's the biggest winner in the last 10 years, 20 years? What's the biggest winner? Is it Apple? Is it Tesla? What is it? Anybody have any ideas down in the comments? Good morning. What's going on, guys? Buja Park. Can't get it up. I'm sorry. What's going on, Matt Flo? What's going on, Jay Gadsby? How you guys doing today? DVD, Eddie Martin's here. Of course, the great Matt Flo, Vladi Z. Carl C. Mark, the Mattress King of Chicago. Flesh Infection is here to give us all his itch. What's up, Tiff? Tiff was first in line. Of course, the great Nautilurker J Money has joined us as moderator, producer extraordinaire. Good morning, Matt Flo. Good morning, Eddie Martin. Good morning, Jay Gadsby, DVD. How's everybody doing this morning? Buja Park, how's it going? 9 Pound Taco is here. 9 Pound Taco with breakfast taco. Hey guys, little hint. It's Domino's Pizza. Do they use AI to make the pizzas? Do they have Tesla robots making the pizzas? I've only seen like 16-year-old acne-faced kids making the pizzas. And I've seen, old retirees who had to come out of retirement bringing the pizza. Dude, Domino's Pizza, you douchebags. This stock was $3.86 in 2008. And then it was almost $600 in 2021. It's just pizza. Why would you want that kind of gains? I wouldn't even accept those gains because it didn't have anything to do with AI. Why would you want to go from $4 to $600 on a stock that just makes pizza? I mean, your yacht that you buy with those profits is not going to be as fulfilling. Sending your children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren all the way down the line with that generational wealth you get from Domino's Pizza is not nearly as valuable as if you picked like a tech stock, right? Your money ain't green. Your sauce ain't red. I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm chubby and I like pizza, and many of you don't eat carbs. That you're haters, but my point is, guys, the argument's ridiculous. They first they're saying, okay, the CAGR is going to be 15 to 17% going forward. And then SoFi turns in 30% year on year, and that's going to accelerate. They raised, guys, this wasn't one of little SoFi's little top. They raised like a couple. And if you look at what they're doing with their margins, you look at the fee-based income, yeah, I would have liked to see more accounts at Galileo, sure. But you're always going to be able to pick point of an ER. This is a high margin business, as is software, as is Galileo. But if SoFi gets to 30% gross, 20% plus at the bottom line, and their financial services growing 100%, I don't care if they're selling widgets, mousetraps, soft-boiled eggs. Who cares? The reason that it's a false argument. It's illogical. The sector doesn't drive the growth. The growth drives the valuation. Doesn't matter what it is. Why do you think Domino's Pizza like 100x'd? Because they grew. This just a bank thing is nonsense, guys. This was an absolute home run. It doesn't make any sense. It makes absolutely no sense. Like Upstart has, but they use buzzwords, guys. This market's driven by buzzwords. Why do you think Intel fell through the floor and Nvidia went through the roof? They both say AI, they both make chips. It's because Nvidia is growing. They're taking all the market share. They have massive margins. if you actually look at what's happening on a much smaller, slower scale, SoFi is doing the same thing. They're taking customers, they're taking deposits, they're creating new high margin businesses out of thin air that the B2Bs are eating up, because SoFi not only has the bank charter, they can originate these loans on their platform, then they can service the loans. It's free money, it's gravy. None of this was in the valuation that I know of in the estimates they gave for 2026. I think that's complete sandbagging. And even if you don't look at it that way, okay, they're saying 10 to 12 cents this year, 55 to 80 cents 2026, 5 to 8x EPS growth in 2 years. And they're saying just the bank book value. It's nonsense. The reason banks are valued that way is because they don't grow. Their profits are predictable, low, safe. That's not what SoFi is. Just because they happen to offer financial services as their product, it's just illogical. If you're increasing margins, you're increasing sales, you're increasing profits, and as Anthony Noto said, you're doing so in a very durable, safe, responsible, conservative way. I mean, they're rejecting the vast, vast majority of personal loan business. They can afford to be completely selective. It just doesn't make any sense. The only argument I hear the bears even making, okay, yeah, Galileo growth was a bit slow. Fair enough. I don't know what you guys are talking about. There's some weird commentary going on. But it just, I just hear them making the wrong arguments. And it doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, that's why I bought more SoFi yesterday, $9 in the 980s. I mean, I looked at that ER and I was like, of course, I made the video yesterday, this thing has to be preloaded. But I'm looking at SoFi. You're just seeing the tip of the iceberg. They've invested all this money in the platform, in Galileo, in Technesis, and now they can roll out things aggressively. And I think Tanner is really getting that. And he probably already got it, because, I mean, the guy understands new, he invests in all these fintech companies. So I think he's one of the people that sees it, which is why I think he stays in the stock. I mean, this stock is grotesquely undervalued. I mean, the valuation they were talking about was for 15% growth. If you put 30 to 35% growth into some kind of model that values a stock, 15% versus 30% are worlds apart in terms of growth rates. And these banks, they're saying, value SoFi like a bank. These banks have negative growth, negative customer growth, negative deposit growth. Yeah, Chase is growing a little bit, but none of them are growing at 30%. It makes no sense. The arguments make no sense. And why? Because they want you to sell it off. Remember, these same bears that were telling you, hey, it's a $6 stock, it's a $5 stock, hey, sell it off. I mean, look at these guys coming up. JP Morgan reiterates $9. Citibank, oh, sorry, guys. This is some old. This is old. This hasn't refreshed. Let me see if I can refresh this for you guys. Yeah, so JP Morgan reiterates the hold at 9. Needham goes from 10 to 13 on a buy. This guy's a little bit more serious analyst. I've heard him. 26% upside. Dan Dolev buy. Barclays, again, look at the unity. This BTIG, Barclays, JP Morgan, they're always kind of KBW. Deutsche Bank, this guy's pretty good. Had a good note, and it's basically slow on tech, but it's big on everything else. I really don't understand why, financial services growth isn't good. I guess because instead of like blazing a trail and creating some AI robotic industry, you're just taking market share from existing banks and credit unions, and the market doesn't find that sexy or exciting, so it gets a low multiple. But I just don't think you can ignore growth and margins, because that leads to EPS And eventually, as all this accounting bullshit gets washed out, that's going to lead to free cash flows. I mean, a company growing this steadily, safely, conservatively, creating all these new businesses, growing year on year, top line 30%. I mean, I know it was a negative 29 was due to that big write down. But this time last year, they were legitimately losing money on a GAAP basis. And that swung to a positive quarter after quarter after quarter. Now it was, 2 cents, 1 cent, 1 cent, whatever. But I think they're clearly on a trajectory right now to not be losing money ever again. And another thing that's just very important to remember is that fair value accounting is about to really spike SoFi's books. I mean, the argument that Giuliano Bologna makes, repeatedly is really the opposite of the truth, in my opinion, because it would only have the effect he's talking about if SoFi was experiencing, alarming rates of defaults and delinquencies. But facts, which are stubborn things, which Giuliano tends to ignore, are that that's trending in the opposite direction. Right? So their loans are going to actually become more valuable. If SoFi has personal loans that are not defaulting at high rates and are at higher interest rates, and interest rates come down, those loans are going to be marked more valuable. It's that simple. And then on top of that, you're going to have massive originations. 2024, you're already seeing it. Everyone thought loans were going to contract. Now they're saying loans are going to be at least 100% of last year's levels. Net interest income was what, 414 million? I mean, they're absolutely crushing it, knocking it out of the park. And now they want you to believe. They're trying to sell you. They're trying to sell you the highest mileage piece of shit used car you've ever seen in your life. And they want you to finance that horse shit story for 72 months at high interest. I'm not buying, folks. I'll take the bus. I mean, this narrative is so stupid. It's so stupid, amateur. It's like Walter Sobchak says, fucking amateurs. Shut the fuck up, Walter. I'm on the phone. Fucking amateurs. I don't know how stupid people are that they believe this. Hey, the company's growing. They're making a lot of money. Bad news. Noto's out. He's like, hey, this is the best quarter in our history. We're absolutely destroying everything. The transition is there. The investment has been made. Now we just print money. Like, well, I didn't like his tie. He wasn't wearing a tie. Exactly. Like, these are the arguments against SoFi. I mean, Jeremy, what's his name, who makes money, he had a really good SoFi video just explaining how good this ER is. He's buy more. I mean, I don't know. The guy's pretty smart. I gave him a lot of shit about that tattooed chef thing. But if you actually look at the body, he's a good stock picker. He makes a lot of money. So who the fuck am I to criticize his stupid hair dye or whatever? The fuck do I know? I don't know, guys. That's really the point I'm making, is that the narratives have gotten so stupid and so desperate. And frankly, that just a bank thing was always stupid, because banks don't grow fast and they don't make high margins. That's why they're valued as just a bank. If you have a company like SoFi Technologies Incorporated, ticker symbol SOFI, that happens to have a bank charter, but is also a technology company, financial services company, like most banks, they're not growing their financial services arms 100% year on year. It's probably negative. So why should those two entities get the same valuation? It doesn't make any sense. It's a stupid, stupid, stupid fugazi. Look at the facts. 30% year on year. EPS is at the very beginning of an explosive growth curve. Oh, sorry, guys. Little protein shake. Fight the demons in my head. Anyway, guys. You ever listen to Blue October? It's just a weird, like, I never doubted my warped opinions and things like suicidal hate. You made me compliment myself when it was way too hard to take. And I'll try so. Just weird. It's just weird stuff. I love it. Anyway, can't remember the name of that album or even the song. But my mind is old and it doesn't function very efficiently. And I'm very, very tired. And I'm on cold medicine. And I can't see because I didn't want to go back in the room and get my glasses and wake people up. So everything's basically a fog. Oh, it's so dramatic. So dramatic. Anyway, guys, my point is, if you don't watch shiny things, don't watch misdirection. It's like people are like, look at what my hand's doing over here. Look at my hand over here while they pick your pocket. That's what market makers are trying to do to you. And remember, these same worthless, lazy SOBs who don't own anything, who are saying, well, it's going back to 5. I'm going to buy at 5 or whatever. Now they're saying, oh, it's going to dump back to 950. Like, that's the best you got? You were just shorting from 680, tough guy. What happened to the tough guy that was shorting everything from 720? All the false bravado and tiny weighing of a... I don't know, guys. Again, they keep moving the goalposts, changing everything. It's like, oh, they're not going to grow. Oh, wait, they grew? They're not going to make any money. Oh, wait, they made money? Oh, well, management can't be trusted. Oh, wait, management keeps, dramatically over-delivering on what they've promised for what, 14 quarters in a row or whatever it is? What other company can say that, guys? Look at the evidence. Look at the evidence right in front of your face of what this company is, what they're doing. I mean, it's easy to see. Look at the beat. Look at the quarterly. I mean, they don't have it up yet on this graph, but I mean, just look at the annual. This is going to be positive. I mean, look at the beat. It is what it is, guys. These other companies, I firmly believe, like Upstart, Affirm, they don't have bank charters. They don't really do anything. SoFi can do everything they do better. I just see this company just rapidly increasing EPS, even in excess of what management estimates. And in 2026, 2027, I think we'll be sitting on just massive gains. I mean, I think the train has left the station. Customers love SoFi. They're flocking there. They're paying less for the customers. They're making money. They're outgrowing the stock-based compensation. Everything the bears said was going to happen didn't happen. The opposite happened. Facts matter. Facts have to matter. And yes, the run past 11 might have got a little overheated, might have been too far, too fast. We're like, well, it's going to pull back into the 9s, going back to single. Already pulled back to single digits, you dummies. It already filled that gap. Look at the days range from yesterday. It's 977. What, you got shit for brains? I don't get it, man. I just don't get what these guys are talking about. They live in an alternate reality. I mean, they smashed the top line. Increased guidance dramatically. Strong triple beat. I mean, the bottom line is only a penny. Yeah, earnings whisper was 6 cents. We'd have all liked to see more out of Galileo. Not saying it's perfect. Not saying it's perfect by any stretch, but by the looks of things, neither am I. Guys, I'm feeling like, an old diaper. I got to get rolling. I mean, I don't think it's going to be a super short squeeze or anything. The short interest isn't that high, but no more valid bear arguments. Completely agree with you. DDI, Etonian, so much good info. Yeah, data-driven investing. I believe you're talking about the Deadliest Catch Chris, who, guys, we've been Chris saved my life once in a Bolivian prison. In there with, I believe it was Paul Newman and old Bobby Redford. Oh, we was in a shootout in a canyon with the army. Very, very dramatic, but only me and Chris was able to get out alive, and fishing crab ever since. I have no idea, guys. I am just let me close with this. I am a complete idiot, and don't listen to anything I say. Don't like, don't sub, but have yourselves just a wonderful day. Thank you so much, guys. It's un poco mas. Buy SoFi, not financial advice. Buy SoFi, buy SoFi, buy SoFi, not financial. No, guys, I don't know if I'd buy up here. It might pull back. Like, don't get too excited. You know, believe me, the stock was just down in 7, 6, so they can definitely hit it again. But I just think it's stupid. They're on the wrong side of the trade. These same idiots shorted from 680 to 720, and they were wrong then, and they're wrong now. They keep getting proven wrong every single quarter. I mean, Noto is more confident every single quarter. The guy is just an absolute all-star. Noto is the real fucking deal. Look at the guy's resume, look at his accomplishments, look at his execution, look at his mindset, and then hitch your wagon to that guy. When you find a guy, it's like Buck Strickland said about, Hank Hill when they hired the new manager and he put the taddlers in the trucks to track the guys, and he put all these computer policies in. Ended up losing a lot of customers. Strickland Propane at 5 locations. They put them taddlers in. Problem is, thanks, J-Manny. Problem is, Joe Jack was the only one with the commercial license to drive the truck. So you go ahead and you fire Joe Jack, you got nobody left. And it's like, Buck Strickland said to that nerd, Hank's your golden goose. You don't fire the golden goose. Oh, thank you, sir. I remember when Buck Strickland made Hank acting manager for like 5 minutes. It's like the greatest moment. Oh, I'm supervising Dirndl, West Dirndl. Anyway, guys, Anthony Noto is the golden goose guy. This guy has won his entire life, and this is his first opportunity to really shape a company to make money from the ground up. And the fact you want to say it's just a bank, this company is in the right sector at the right time for the fintech revolution. This is a massive, massive, high profit, lazy sector that nobody's pushed to innovate in decades and decades and decades. And Anthony Noto's pushing. Knock, knock, motherfucker.